What is your vision for the future?
I'm an optimist. So I see the worldwide problems, but I'm still optimistic because I know the past. Also die ganze Rekonstruktion hat 3 Millionen Euro gekostet. Aber davon mussten wir Flug bezahlen, Hotel, alles. Und das ist schnell weg. Und die Repairing of the Cement. Ja. Und hatten wir für jeden Künstler nur ein schmales Budget. Und die waren gierig. Die wollten so fast. They created that in 2 days. I was so surprised. Gave by meetings, at first of all, a kiss, the so-called kiss of Brotherhood. And this shows the former leaders of the Soviet Union and the East German government, Brezhnev and Honecker. But the title is very funny. It means, my God, please help me to survive this deadly love. And it became very famous in the years. That's a painting of our years today, 94. And 3 years ago, in the year 2009, he went back and reconstructed in the age of 91 his painting by itself. Yeah. And he was arrested first by the Nazis, afterwards by the communists.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Few meters, we come to the final of the first part of the Guardians. The second part of the tour is a small visit now in my studio.
Oh,
It's not far from here. And I
Sorry.
have in my studio, it's a combination between gallery and studio. So I have an exhibition with my own works with a lot of pieces to the theme.
Our friend is going to be so jealous. She loves you so much.
Welcome.
She's going to be completely jealous when we tell her we're in your actual creative space.
Come a little bit closer, please. A little bit closer. That's my painting.
Oh, this is yours.
And you see, that's a combination between the German and the Israeli flag. And it took place of 2 important dates in German history last century. That means 2 November 9th. 1st November 9th was the baddest, the darkest date in German history. It was 9th November 38, the so-called Crystal Night, when the Nazis burned the synagogues here in Berlin. The second 9th November was 89, also last century, and this was the opening of the wall. And I created that painting on canvas for the 9th November 88, 1 year before the fall of the wall. So nobody knew that the wall came down, and 1 year later, because November 9th, 88 was the anniversary of 50 years Crystal Night. So 1 year later came the wall down, and people invited me to help to create the East Side Gallery. And sure, I felt when the wall came down, the danger of a reunification of the bad senses and the racism and old Nazi ideologien also, yeah. And it was a warning. And also, the Berlin Wall is a directly product of World War II. And the Germany today, as state, and Israel are very young states. And also is Israel a product of World War II. And this is also a symbol of the inheritance of all the Germans after World War II, and a warning against fanaticism, and a concrete symbol for peace and togetherness. And not everybody liked that. So I was forced in the last 20 years to paint that work at this place on 46 times. Yeah, on 46 times fanatics destroyed that work, and religious fanatics, political fanatics, and from all political wings. Also left-wing people, destroyed it because the title means fatherland. Only that was too much for some fanatics. And I think this was not my plan when I created, but it's not possible for me to stop, because when I stop, it means I go down on my knees in front of this terrorism, and this is not possible. And so I will do it again and again, and I think as long as people exist who destroyed art, such art, as long as is it necessary to went back for cleanups, and so maybe I will make in 2 years the 25th anniversary of my painting here at the wall. So I have of every attack photos, and I have a lot of resonance worldwide since 25 years, and it became part of my life. I repeat, this was not my plan, but it happened. And maybe that is a real secret of art, when things happen without any plans. If you mean it serious.
Also ist ja gar nicht gemacht. Hier gemacht. Also ich nehme das große also
I picked up a lot of pieces on this travel from the wall. And the final was, I took this sign this is a sign of the border guards from West Germany. And this sign was standing on the ground of my own country and divided my family. So the communists have divided my family. The smaller part was in West Germany, the bigger part was in East Germany. And our land was the strip of that. So they divided us and robbed our country. And it was in Bavaria, and on both sides my people were farmers. And that was the ruin for the farmers. So my father was forced to leave the small village in Bavaria and was going to Frankfurt for looking for a job, because he had no money, or he must earn money for his young family. That's why I grew up later in Frankfurt. And after the fall of the wall, I was making this travel and created in that work. And the main part is the sign. I was looking to this sign since when I was 8. And this means stop, here is the border. And all this symbolizes my view since I was a child, a young boy of 8, this perspective from west to east. And you find here a lot of different works to the theme. Here are many photos and objects. I published also a book. Here is information material, if you like. Also Easter Gallic. You can take a look to the book. It's in German English too. When I came, 21 years ago, it exists no reconstructed houses. So all this I combine these two flats, and all these houses here were completely ruined. Yeah, and so I had luck because I discovered and reconstructed by myself, and I was making good contracts because I had a vision.
Yes.
And the first 5 years, the people were laughing about me because how is it possible that a person who is coming from New York like this dark borough? Yeah. So you saw here also traces of World War II. Every house had holes of the
Rubble.
from the bombs and so on. And now nobody laughs at me. Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
So I saved my cheap rent. The subtitle is Total Verkorkst. This is a word game. Kork is the same word in English also.
Yes.
Kork. But verkorkst, the word kork is included. Verkorkst means in Germany nuts. Absolutely. And this means totally nuts. And this is a saying, total verkorkst. And it means also, I integrated the word cork in that joke.
Yeah.
And so here, dynamite, the danger of the alcohol, like dynamite. And so this is hard to translate.
We are honored to be in your gallery. Thank you so much for inviting us. And you are world renowned for your art and your paintings. And for me, this is a great honor to sit here next to you in your gallery and share your personal space and your art. My question to you is, how do you believe art is an important tool for ushering German cultural diplomacy into the rest of the world?
Oh, I think the fall of the wall, first of all, was a big signal for freedom for the rest of the world. And you see what's happened now, 20 years later, the revolution in the Middle East. And after the fall of the wall came freedom, democracy to South Africa, and so on. After them, the Russian Empire going down, and I think this is not an end. And the Germans have a big responsibility. Yes, it?
Yes, yes.
About World War II, and my generation is one of the inheritors, and we must work on this theme. We must work on for freedom, for togetherness, and when I can be a small part of this, so I'm satisfied and I'm proud. Oh, I think I have too much respect for Christos, big work, yeah. And so I think I must find other ideas, and I work, sure, in the philosophy of Christos, but in my own way. Yeah. But I'm a fan of him, and he is inspired me in a time. It was in the year 95, in the middle of the 90s, 5 years after the fall of the wall, and so we had here the euphoria after the wall crumbled was gone, and in these times we had the first depression, yeah, a lot of people were disillusioned. Disillusioned, yeah. And he gave us a lot of power back. And so he is a very good example that for the power of art. And first of all, we must keep art and philosophy. And this means this is a basic of the human culture. This is a difference between the animals and us. And we was making bad experiences, you know, when the Nazis, the book burned. And so first are burning the books and then the humans. And first of all, we have to keep our art, our culture. That means not only fine art, it means all creative genres.
I'm going to ask you one more question. What is your vision for the future, Günther?
The whole world had much more problems in the past than today. World War I, World War II, all the dictatorships worldwide. And I think we are on a good way with our problems. I'm not naive, but with optimism and power, so we have a chance. Wenn die Menschen, ich sag's jetzt mal in Deutsch,
Ist okay.
ihre Gier in den Griff bekommen.
Okay.
Das einzige Problem ist die menschliche Gier. Also wenn wir dann kriegen wir auch die ökonomischen Probleme in den Griff. Das Kapital ist da. Das muss nur anders verteilt werden.
Okay, so shall I translate?
Yeah. Okay. I'll put subtitles.
Okay, put subtitles. It's okay. The other thing I would like to say is, not only are you a great artist, but you also make great cappuccino. And I am happy to come back anytime to have a cup of cappuccino.
It would be a great pleasure for me.
Thank you. And I'm going to give the participants here an opportunity also to ask you a question, if that is okay.
Okay, sure.
Thank you very
It's my
much.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, coming from similar histories in terms of histories of separation coming from South Africa, obviously, yes, the symbol of the wall coming down is the physical form of, yes, the separation is over, but obviously still in the mind the separation exists. So what I want to know is, because it's the same in my country, yes, physically we don't have to carry past books anymore, but obviously in the mind the separation is still there. So I want to know, how do we deal with that mental wall, mental Berlin Wall in our art? Or how do you...
So I felt that from the first day, but now 21 years ago, and the next generation grew up. This is a big advantage. The generation who are born after the fall of the wall got no problems each other. Only now the elder generation, like me, got a lot of problems. It's getting better, much better. Okay, it needs time, passion, but the old mentality is not completely gone. But every year is it a little bit better, because the old communists are getting less by nature 21 years ago, and the fanaticism is going down slowly, but it works. And the first 10 years it was much harder, and you can imagine, you saw at my work the sign who stands on my country, on my own land. Sure, when I meet on a bar, for example, a person, an old Stasi person, yeah, who divided my family and so on. I cannot drink a beer with him. That is the problem. We can't speak. Yeah, but the old sense of these people is not gone completely, and so that's a problem of the elder people. But I'm happy that this special kind of problems are gone for the younger generation, and that's why I have got good feeling for the future.
Okay. And
It will work. It will work.
And do you see the young people, artists, addressing that at all? That kind of, because obviously these are their grandparents, so they still are in contact with that mental Berlin Wall. Do you see artists, young artists like our generation, dealing with that in their art?
You mean the
Painting
young
of-
generation?
yes.
Yeah, not so much. This is completely different because this is also the generation of the globalization, the digital, the internet generation, and these people are so free and so far from these old things. Maybe the grandparents have with bad thinking, no chance. Same, I felt the same when I was young. I grew up under old Nazis, and they tried to educate me, but they had no chance. We like Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, and the Stones, and rock and roll, yeah, and not the old Nazis, and that's very similar today in this generation, and I like that.
Talking about the young people, we're finding in our generation, because freedom is a good thing, but freedom has responsibilities. And it seems that it's very hard for young people to think like that yes, it's good that you're free, but you must be responsible with your freedom in cultural diplomacy ways, or in however you feel. Do you find that a problem amongst German young people, that they are not responsible with their freedom?
Yeah, no, I think we have a lot of art history from different sides in last century, that the young people by education are learning a lot of things about history. And I think it's very necessary to know their own history for a better life for the future, for preparing a better life for the future. To learn history is very necessary, and I think our education, maybe it's not enough, but it's also not bad, yeah. And we have a lot of organizations around the normal school for making experiences in history and so on, and the young people, a big part, take that chance. It is half and half, yeah, but it is not so bad. And my wish is that the government give more money next future for more education in history, because I think especially Germany, with this hard history in last century, needs that. And but they are on a good way. This was not in every government the same. But actually this government give more money than the governments before, like Helmut Kohl also. Yeah. But now 20 years later, the country is almost reconstructed. Imagine, when the wall came down, our country had big economic crisis. And we were forced to repair a complete different country. And that needed 10 years. And this process is almost finished now after 20 years. And this fact makes the things also better.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's what I like. We are staying here on hard East German ground, Russian area, and so I have now here visitors from all over the world, and the theme is peace, togetherness, freedom, anti-racism, and so when I have such tours and have such guests here like you, that my work makes sense.